Hi favorites, Studer here. I am making this video to walk you through some options and ideas for collecting brainstorming lists for your writing from an incident project. In order to gather several ideas for the project, you want to cast your net wide and you want to spend some time thinking about all the possibilities for your topic. And we started to talk about this in class a little bit, and I showed you that you have several different options for artistic endeavors and brainstorm ideas, and all of these are represented on the different slides on the slide deck. So we have like I could write a book about, we have map of my brain, we have map of my scars, map of my house, map of my heart, a poem where I'm from, and map of your city. And remember that all of these are options. You do not have to do all of them, but you should try at least two or three of them and give yourself plenty of time each time you go through the exercise. So that's a reminder of just the really quick introduction that I did in class. But now this video is specifically going to walk you through the 3 steps for this process. So anytime you pick one of these, whether it's map of my brain or map of my scars, you're going to do 3 things, and it's a process. First, you're going to think and draw. Then you're going to reflect and make a list. And then you're going to write for about 5 minutes on at least one, maybe up to 3 of those ideas on your list. So now I'm going to take you through a specific example with my map my brain exercise. I'm going to show you how I'll do a think and draw, a list, and then a more extensive writing. So, first of all, for the think and draw stage, I understand that we might not all feel super comfortable with drawing. In fact, the brain sketch that I did here is traced. So, please don't think that you have to be some kind of like really great artist. And you, strictly speaking, don't have to draw anything, but it might help you if you use some different colored pens or if you somehow illustrate your brain or your scars or draw your house map. Whatever the activity is, the drawing aspect can work to unlock a different side of your brain and help you be more creative, right? And if you're picturing it in your head, you might have different ideas come up than you otherwise would have. So for my January brain, you can see that I traced an actual picture of a brain. Definitely was not really getting artistic. But then that just helped me to be creative with the things that I listed. So here is my list that I created. This probably took me, after I found all my pens in different colors, the whole thing probably took about 10 minutes. And I'll let you pause the video and you can read all the different things. But let me just take you through a couple uh, of the bigger ones. So one thing that happens in January is it's my husband's birthday. He is an introvert and I am an extrovert. So when I say, "Hey, honey, what do you want to do for your birthday?" He's like, "Oh, I just want to keep it low key this year." And like in my mind, because like who wants a low key birthday? Don't you want a party? So that's like kind of where my brain goes. So anyway, it's just something that I thought of going into January. We always have this debate about what to do for his birthday. Another thing that starts to happen in January, I know I'm not alone in this, is seasonal affective disorder, where you just get really bummed out because there's not as much sunshine. So that's definitely on the back of my brain. I need to think about how I'm going to combat that and how to treat it and so forth. Another thing, I've been watching a lot of TV recently. It's that whole indoor hibernation thing, and you end up like binging a lot of stuff. So I've been rewatching a lot of British TV shows that I've liked in the past. And then that just led me to wondering, like, wait, why do they always remake a US version of British comedies? Like, why is that like continually a thing? Another thing, that I've been thinking about. I got a circuit for Christmas and I'm so overwhelmed trying to figure out how to use it. Like everybody I know who has one says, "Oh my gosh, it's so easy." And but that's just like something that's kind of in the back of my mind, like besides planning for a new semester and everything that's on my plate, now I have to learn a new thing and it's just kind of like making me anxious. And then over here, just kind of on a sad note, we recently lost our dog, and so that's just like kind of like always hanging over my head as a cloud recently. All right, so this is the think and draw section, right? Like this is where I just write down not even complete sentences, but just different topics that I am thinking about, right? Because this is the draw the brain activity. So now let's talk about going through the reflect and make a list step. Okay. So all of those different elements that I wrote and drew in different colors on my brain map, I am now going to take several of those and write about them in different snippets, right? So on the section of my brain where I was thinking about celebrity news, I wrote about SNL. Oops. And then I wrote about the Duchess of Cambridge. I'm obsessed with the royal family. I understand that as an American, it's kind of weird for me to be obsessed with them, but don't care, still here for it. Here's my idea. I wrote about a birthday party for my husband. Just made me start thinking about different kinds of partnerships because I'm the extrovert and he's the introvert. And what does that look like? And how do we be a team? My sister is an introvert and her husband is also an introvert. And they're some of the quietest people who like literally never fight and they just kind of wait for the other constantly to make a decision. And then I actually don't know any couples who are like extrovert extrovert. That would be interesting to know. But anyway, I just wonder if there's something to that, like the matchingness of people's personalities. Here's my seasonal affective disorder comment. I don't know about you, but I'm really getting sick of the fact that we haven't had any weather delays all school year. So that's a thing. Things about pets, things about learning new hobbies. And then here's where I go off constantly on or I go on a tangent about British comedies. So this particular document right here is the second step, the reflect and make a list step. Okay, so what you can see on my example here, none of this is like even incomplete sentences, right? These are just literally, I spent 30 seconds on this topic and I spent 30 seconds on this topic. And as many ideas as I could come up with, I just wrote down a list. Okay, nothing is spell checked. All right, now if we go back to step 3, write for about 5 minutes on 1 to 3 of your ideas. So, what does that look like? Okay, so come down here and you can see this in your copy. I wrote for 5 minutes about American remakes of British comedies. And I'm going to let you read through all of my thoughts here at your leisure. Okay, but basically, I took one of these seed ideas from step 2 and I extended it. Um, I even linked to a list of American television shows that are based on British television shows. There's a ton more than I even knew about. Okay, so I did a little bit, like the very teeniest, tiniest glimpse of research. Okay, but I wanted to get all of my different ideas down for this. Okay, now how does this translate into the project? Okay, um, we want to go from having a brainstorm, in this case, it's a literal brainstorm, to then coming up with several ideas for potential topics and then digging in more to explore some additional possibilities, a little bit of additional depth to some potential topics. Okay. So, this kind of work, this thinking and inventing at the very beginning of a project, this is essential. We can't just come up with half of a page of a bullet pointed list of topics. Like, we can't do climate change, marriage, TV, pets. That list would not be specific enough or well thought out for our purposes. Okay. So, again, I'm just encouraging you to give yourself enough time and space to go through this 1, 2, 3 step process for a couple of different exercises. All right. I'm very interested to see what you guys come up with, and thanks for watching.